a long time. How y'all been doing? All right,
Good.
that's what's up. That's what's up. That's how you've been doing. That's good to hear, man. Good to hear. Well, we're glad you're back because this week is long overdue. We have a really cool challenge this week. This week's challenge is to sample gospel music. Now it's been done, but it's never been done by 3 weeks later. So tonight you have myself, you have Cheeky CP, who is needs to change his name, and then we got Peace So Earth Tones. And so tonight, if you love his beat, then you give me the credit. And if you don't like the beat, then you still got to give me the credit because his name is mine. But Piso's down there in a starship. He took time out of his wonderful day and a busy day fighting crime and intergalactic threats to hang out with us. We appreciate it.
Of course.
What are y'all drinking tonight?
Oh, I got a great beer here. Shout out to this great beer. This is, what the hell is it? It's a pale ale. It's by Right Proper, which is like a DC brewery.
Right Proper, huh?
Yeah, and it's called Raised by Wolves.
Do they also have a restaurant?
They do.
I think I've heard of that place before.
Yeah, it is. It's tasty.
That's dope.
I have this Game of Thrones beer.
Shit.
No, not the ale.
Yeah, it's really good.
Wow, I'm jealous. That's one thing about New York City, man. You can get anything in New York City.
Yeah, this is true.
E, what are you sipping on? What is that? Is that the tea?
Nah. This is just red wine, man. This is just red wine.
You sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. He's not healthy today.
Partly. I did my 4 miles earlier, so I'm treating myself to some wine.
So let me see. I think we're live. Yeah, we are live. I just tweeted the link. P, I don't know if you're retweeting that.
Yeah, I am.
I do have a couple interesting announcements. I want to go through just some quick announcements, if that's cool. I'm going to share my screen really quick, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Okay. The first one is something that we announced 2 weeks ago or last week, I forget. But our merch shop is open. So, ladies and gentlemen, get your hands on this gear right now. Everything's up and running. You can get yourself a cap. Here we go.
Put the cap down.
You got 2 different colors here on the knit cap. You could get the Carhartt brown or you could get the gray. So if you purchase something, definitely, we really appreciate it. This is one of the ways that we want to basically keep the lights on. So you can get yourself a nice little zip up, men and women's, and then we got a cool backpack here. Eventually we're going to be doing some giveaways. So I think we should pack this backpack full of stuff and then give it away sometime next year. So quick note about that. And then also drum roll, please. Your boy Cheeky CP started a BeatStars page.
Yo, can you give us a story behind that bathrobe, please?
Mm-hmm. So this bathrobe, I got it just to kind of, make my wife cringe.
Yeah, why do we do things? Why do us husbands like to do stuff like that to make our wives cringe?
That's what half a marriage is for. You know what I mean? Seriously. So
I just want to know if you got that from the Bel Air store. It looked like the Inside Out Fresh Prince jacket.
It was. We were going on a trip somewhere, and I was like, it'd be great if I just pull this shit out in the middle of the trip.
That's usually not what people pull out in the middle of a trip. But go ahead.
And
guys, this is a gospel episode.
Listen. Okay, you're right. I don't got to come back. I need all my blessings. I'm sorry.
So I took this crazy photo. If you look at what's happening in here, it's even weirder. It's just hilarious. But anyways,
Yeah, you drinking out of a Solo cup?
I'm drinking out of a mug, or like honey mug. You know what I mean? Like a jar. That's what I mean to say. A jar.
Mug.
A mason jar. And then, anyways, it's a funny photo. But I put a beat up, and you might recognize this beat right here, called Tiny Tim Tiny.
Anything tiny. I like that.
Cheeky CP with the hits.
Sounds vaguely familiar to a beat we made before.
Cheeky CP with the hits.
Isa Soze.
So
that beat makes me want to rap in triplet so badly. Like as cliche as that is, it's like
it makes me want to. It makes me want to do two things. It makes me want to watch the Usual Suspects, and then it also makes me want to rap like Eminem on Forgot About Dre.
Cheeky CP with the
Hey.
The description says this beat could work well on an episode of American Horror Story.
It could.
So
I hope they read that and put it on there.
The unique thing here is I took the sample that we did and I replayed it completely. So I'm going to show that on a stream throughout the week.
Oh, so that's the sample out.
Took the sample away.
You cheeky bastard.
Yes, sir.
Ha 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 ha.
So I ghosted the sample and I just replayed it using keys, some violin, a bunch of different filtering techniques, and essentially
ride the whip.
It's
I was
just
going to say that, but I didn't.
2 chords. So get your hands on it. But the cool thing here is check it out. You could actually post a beat and then you could show a video related to that beat. So the video that I put up was the episode.
Oh, word.
So
look at you, just like cross promoting and doing all this, like using the internet.
P, you're right there. Check that out.
Look at his face.
He's like, 16 dummy spins. 16 dummy spins.
How many dummy spins? A million.
All right.
When do I get to choose the amount of dummy spins again?
You're on punishment for choosing dummy spins.
That's all I want to know. When do I get?
You're on dummy spin punishment. Last time you picked, it was like 7.
Never.
You're on dummy. You're on punishment
in human history.
You're on punishment for dummy spins.
you're a dummy spin. I'm gonna punish you.
Oh, what? That's that Jersey shit. That's that. Because in your mind that was an insult, right? Like you really thought.
So this week's challenge.
Silence. You can hear the anger.
Sample the Buffalo Bills beating the San Francisco 49ers.
Yes, sir.
Let's
go Bills. Monday Night Football, huh?
Bills Mafia. Let's go. This is really a sports podcast. You guys didn't realize. Sorry. If you tuned in and thought this was about music.
Not. It's really not.
Oh, just going to have to stretch out right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's your Bills perfect?
Now your shirt says champs, but I don't know if I recall a championship.
Divisional champs, my friend.
That's division. AFC. That's just the division. Oh, okay. I see.
Nice.
You know what? That's what I miss about Buffalo is Bills haters. You know what I mean? Like homegrown Bills haters.
You don't got to go nowhere to get that. Just call me anytime. Just call me anytime. I got
you. Growing up, like I was a Bills hater pretty much from like 0 to about 14 years old. I think I was just like, way too into music and like
I mean, you were a football hater, not a Bills.
Maybe, I listened to, you had to watch and listen and everything like that, but I just was not as avid of a fan as I am now. You know what I mean? Right. I think as I got older, I got way more. See, that's the thing. That's why all the Bills haters that I knew were because of the last Super Bowl.
No,
and everyone's like, all right,
not why. That's not why. I'm gonna tell you why. And P can attest to this. Remember Miss Fernstead, Miss P?
Oh wow, yes.
I do. So we had a champ. We in the Super Bowl. Miss Fernstead said, if we won, we weren't supposed to have school the next day, right? That was what the school said. And I was getting really good grades in her class, all good grades in all my classes. I was killing it. And so Miss Fernstead, because we didn't win the Super Bowl, she gave us this crazy test, and it dropped my score out of the honor roll. And that pissed me off. So I will never be a Bills fan because of that. Now, it didn't impact my future or anything. It just was the sour taste in my mouth of the Bills game could impact my life like that. I don't want to ever put my pride in something that could. So ever since then, I've been riding solo. You know what I'm saying? You
gotta bury that. You got if the Bills,
you might have to see a therapist about that, bro. It's worth that out. Like, unpack some PTSD, right?
It's not PTSD. I love owning that. I love
no
owning that reason.
If we get to the Super Bowl, you're gonna go. I don't know. Find your. What was it? Elementary school? High school?
Yes, it was elementary school.
Yeah,
yes,
go find your like elementary school book or whatever and bury that shit in your backyard.
No.
And with it, the memory of Miss Fernstead.
No, listen, I will never do that. Okay, I'm proud of that memory. It taught me a lot about letting my future be determined by other people.
This is okay. I can see that.
So I'm proud of that moment. That's why I'm not a Bills fan.
So let's dig into this challenge because I had a hard time this week.
I had a great time, actually. This was a really fun challenge for me.
I made a lot of beats, and I had fun.
Like this morning, like I was sticking with the second thing I did, and I really built the second thing I did up pretty much the one that we're going to hear today. But the whole time in the back of my head, I'm like, this isn't it. And then I started a beat today, and then I actually found something that was really cool, but I didn't have enough time to finish it. So I have a really cool beat just sitting here that probably might not get finished, but
we should do a stream where we just play like bonus beats, all these records that E refuses to let us play on the main show.
The B-sides.
We should have a B-sides episode.
A bonus show, you know. Just you and me, Corey. You know what I mean? We can leave E out of it. You know, since he's a Bills hater.
Wow.
But yeah, guys, I actually enjoyed this. So I've been trying to listen to more and more gospel music, actually. And I've enjoyed. So when this challenge came up, I was actually excited because I had already been listening to a lot. And there's a couple of DJs I follow on Twitch who play a lot of gospel music in the middle of their sets, which is also interesting. It's pretty cool. I mean, there's so many rich things about gospel. The voices, and they always said the best musicians are in the church, you know. And there's
not this year.
Oh boy. But
church.
Yeah, I get it. But musically gospel is it's beautiful. It's beautiful music. That's spiritual music that you can worship through, and I think it's amazing. So I actually had help from my wife because my wife listens to a lot of gospel, but she listens to a lot of like modern gospel, and she put me on to some stuff that I wasn't aware of, and I found some good stuff.
So you didn't use that sample. So no one used the sample they presented.
No, I intentionally didn't give you all the sample I presented because I didn't want y'all. I didn't know at that time what I was going to use, so I just played something that I was thinking about doing. But so that particular sample, and I can talk about it now since I didn't use it, was from Kanye's Sunday Service Choir, but not to be mistaken with the Kanye album, because he did a Kanye album, like a God-oriented album, but then afterwards the Sunday Service Choir did a solo album that's just the choir, and it's amazing. It's literally my 24-year-old nephew put me on to it. He was like, "Yo, you gotta listen to this, Uncle." And I was like, "Really? You listen to gospel?" And I listened to the album and I saw why, because it really was. He takes a lot of contemporary songs and flips them gospel style, but the musicianship and the vocal quality is just the mix on it too. Whoever engineered it it sounds so good.
I love that they redid Ultralight Beam because Ultralight Beam was such a pop.
Yeah, it was
without the rap on it.
Yeah, that was brilliant. And like a lot of it, you know, honestly, sometimes I'm having a bad day at work and I put that album on because it really is a very uplifting piece of music. So I came very close to sampling it, but because so many of those records are contemporary songs, it didn't feel like real gospel, even though it is, of course. So I decided to go a little bit differently. So we'll see how we feel about how we and where we landed. But I'm interested to see what you guys have done because this is fun
Well,
for
I
me.
found some really cool stuff too. I'll just say the groups that I found. Somehow I like landed on like African gospel music,
Really?
That's powerful right there.
and
You could get a lot of stuff out of that.
I seriously like right at yesterday I was like, holy shit, I need to mess
You
with
said
this.
what?
Holy shit, I need to mess with this.
You said that, then you said that you may mess with this African gospel. Okay. Well, you know what's crazy? I have water in my wine glass now, so I think you just reverse osmosis
See?
my
I'm trying to
red
take my
wine
blessings.
into water.
There we go. But the two groups are, one is London African Gospel Choir, which is amazing. You got to listen to that. London African Gospel Choir. And then another one just came across, just searching around, was the Saints Gospel Choir. So both of those, pretty cool. All right, who's going first today?
I think I was elected to go first.
You are.
So I guess I will go first. Another, as I load my file up, another challenge I had this week is that my computer stopped working. Boom, boom, boom. The dreaded producer's problem. I actually, what's going on here?
Oh, here we go. It just shut down on you?
Well, I moved and when I moved, it seems like for whatever reason, my computer stopped working. Like my fan's not spinning now. So I gotta send it to my guy. I got a guy, and my guy, my guy in a chair. He's got some computer problem, or it's tough for me to get to him right now. So it's gonna take some time. So I had it installed. I'm actually working off the factory Ableton, just free 90-day trial. But that's 90 days. That's plenty of time for me to get my computer fixed. So
Right.
And it actually, what I realized, it's like cleaning your house. I had the opportunity to go and re-download a whole bunch of stuff from the shared folder that I hadn't downloaded yet.
Yeah.
So I'm actually just beat I made. You had a whole different set of drum sounds and things that I should have downloaded onto my old computer, but just
Yes,
didn't.
you should have.
Yes. So I guess it was a blessing in disguise in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, gentlemen, if you would like to mute your engines, please.
All right.
I am going to present my beat to the world. World, how are you doing? World, my name is Piso Erto. Hold on 1 second, yeah. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, having one little issue.
Unmuting my engine right now.
Somebody say something real quick while I get
Unmuted
this.
engine. So I'll talk a little bit while you're hooking that up. We know, just a quick announcement. We know that next week we are going to not be doing this setup of a stream. Instead, we're going to be doing an interview with a very dope producer, and the producer is The Kit Complete. So we have an interview with The Kit Complete, and we're going to be doing a series of interviews over the next year or so, just trying to find, producers that inspire us and stuff like that. So he's going to be next Monday, we're going to be streaming that. And then the following Monday, we're going to basically be doing sampling Christmas music. So you actually won't see a wheel spin today. We know exactly what the challenge will be. And we know that the last Monday of the year is going to be basically kind of like a greatest hits episode. We're going to kind of go through some of the best beats that we made this year. So more housekeeping info and also a score update. It is 17-10. Bills up and driving.
Okay, gentlemen, use your engines, please. Sorry for the delay. Okay. So my name is Piso Ertone, and this is how I made it. Gospel Music Challenge. All praises due. Indeed. Let's get it going. Okay. All right.
I am not forgotten. I am not forgotten.
Hold on. For some reason, I'm having that little issue that I have when one of my channels just doesn't play. And it's not muted, it's not nothing, but it only happens when I stream. So I'm just gonna reload it again. If it doesn't play this time, it's okay. I'll just deal with it. But
And this is all the Kanye, or I guess the choir that was behind Kanye's project.
no, I didn't go with them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is I'll talk about the sample afterwards. Okay, so I apologize about that technical difficulty, but I promise you it's not my fault. Or is it? Okay. So you guys, this is what happens when you tell me to go first. I mess everything up. Don't fire me, Corey. All right. I think I can do it again. So let me just test this real quick. Am I sharing? I'm not sharing, right?
You're not sharing yet. Yeah.
Okay.
He's in the Starfighter.
Okay.
There we go.
All right. Gentlemen, please mute your engines. My name is Piso Ertone, and this is how I made it. Gospel Challenge. All right, here we go.
He knows my
Sorry, on mute. The old headphone switch. All right. So this one, I did a lot with this. So I have to shout out my wife for putting me on to Israel New Breed, because Israel New Breed makes some incredible gospel music, and a lot of it is very contemporary. A lot of it is modern. They even have some songs that are electronic and like house, and they have like salsa, reggaeton records. It's like the range is crazy. So it's very contemporary gospel. So this record already had a tempo and a vibe that was already more modern. So I experimented with a few different drum patterns when I found the sample. I'm not going to play the sample straight because I don't want to get kicked off YouTube, but you can find the song. And when I found the record, the problem that I found, oh, I'm sorry, the name of the song is I'm Not Forgotten. So if you want to listen to the record, please look up Israel and New Breed, I Am Not Forgotten. So when I found the sample, I didn't want to, chop it up too much. I wanted, because this is gospel, the lyrics are very important, right? The message of the song is important. So I didn't want to chop the song up and make it into something different. I wanted to maintain the essence of the record while still keep giving it a little bit of a modern twist. But like I said, it was already pretty contemporary to begin with, so that wasn't too challenging. I only sped up the beat by about 2 or 3 BPMs. The original BPM, I think, was like 97, and I got it up to 100. So I didn't even really speed it up that much. I added a little bit of a dance hall drum pattern, but the original pattern was already kind of dance hall-y anyway. I just added a little bit more of the kick and the snare. So I can play that real quick for you guys. And because I was able to download all these drum sounds from our shared producer folder, guys, it really pays to have producer friends, because that's how you get lots and lots of great stuff. I had these trap drums, and I put in this trap snare that I pitch shifted. So I really threw in 3 different snares, and I pitch shifted them. So I got the down tempo feel, and that sounded like this. And that I put that at every like 8th measure, and it was just fun because that was something that I would never hear in a gospel record, was that drum sound or drum pattern. So I just thought that would be the little bit of extra spicy sauce I put on the record. So then after that, it just I couldn't help but make this feel more and more dancehall. So I went ahead and I found a nice little hay sample, and I added some reverb and some delay to that. So that was that's very common in a lot of different dancehall records. The bass line was a lot of fun because it was just the pulse of a typical dancehall. I found a cool synthy sound, and then I doubled it up with another solid bass. And I used the bass amp modifier in Ableton, which is just great because I'm finding that with this amp, you can make a lot of bass synths sound really good, and even put this on drum sounds. That's another trick. Throw that on some of your drum sounds, and you can really mess around it. It has all these little presets in it. Very good for that. So then I had my samples, which I chopped up. Well, it didn't really chop up the record, but I just broke it up into different sections. That way I could sequence it the way I wanted it. So once again, I'm not going to play those sequences, but you can listen to the song again to hear the sections that I pulled from the record. But the record has a whole bunch of different sections, so I wanted to capture as much of the song that I could. So there's about 4 or 5 different sections that I chopped from the actual song. I wanted it to be more of a remix and less of a like beat. So basically I went for a remix vibe is what I was trying to do. Some people might even call it an edit, which I heard is a little bit different than a remix, when you kind of like add an extra something to an already existing record. So then once again, staying with the whole dancehall vibe, I played this little section right here. just found a nice little synth and threw that on there. Once again, very dancehall-esque, but not very gospel-like. But because of what Israel did with the record, it was still, in the essence of the music. I mean, I think that the purpose of gospel music, or what gospel music does, is it connects kind of like the body to the soul, right? Like you're physically expressing your worship and through your voice and through the movement of your body and stuff like that. So yeah, why not use a dance hall rhythm to worship? I don't think there's anything wrong with that, and it just feels very natural when I put it together. So I just kept going with it when I was adding layers. And then the only other thing I added was this kind of, not a cowbell, but it's like a percussive element. I put a lot of reverb on that, and that comes from my quarantine drum sound pack that I found. I love those drums. Apparently whoever made them in their house or apartment, banging on bottles and things inside their kitchen during quarantine. So they sound really good. I use those in a lot of times. So I knew the record just needed another layer of beat. And I'm not gonna pretend like I didn't sequence. I know I was trying to flex, but I did actually sequence this one. I know you guys thought I was just like being a boss and just like triggering, but I'm not that good. So yeah, I sequenced this one. Yeah, so I wanted to play that part because that I did take a section of just the choir clapping and like hooting and hollering, and I did like put that in the beat as well, just because I love that. I just, going back to what I was saying earlier about just the physical expression of the spirit through music is kind of what gospel is, and I just love to hear the choir just getting energetic and just like clapping and just feeling the vibe. So I had to have a whole section of just that with the drums. And that about wraps it up. So I'm going to pass the mic over to my brethren, and yeah.
I got questions.
Yes, sir.
First of all, yo, I was rocking over here, man. I was rocking over here, and even though that's not a question, it is a question because I want to know what special sauce you put in there. Like, there was something in that track that just made me vibe, and I'm just like, okay, all right, okay. And so, what I want to know is what made you gravitate towards taking it into that vein, or did it already have that kind of did it speak to you in that way, or was it just like what you wanted to take it to?
So at first, I really wanted to do a gospel house record. That was what I set out to do. I wanted to take a gospel song and put a house beat under it. But when I did the house one on this one, it felt okay. Then I started doing an Afro beat, and that was okay. But then I landed on dancehall because it just felt the best. So that was like the third or fourth drum pattern that I had programmed, and each one was almost a different genre. This record kind of fit into all those different vibes because, like I said, the tempo was just right there. But I ended up with dancehall just because, I don't know, it just spoke to me that way.
I like that. I like what you do with this track. I like the isolation to just show like the energy where you wanted the beat to go into. I love the clap. I love the live choir clap. That's such a classic thing to add to a track. Like that's like real. It just instantly makes you groove. If you weren't grooving before, you were going to groove more, if you already were. So it's just that really, that was dope. That was dope. I like it. I like the track.
Yeah, man. All right. I let you talk for a little while. I really like this. And you know what? All the sounds are really extra crispy, P. So what are the other drum sounds? You said that came from another drum pack or someone else gave you?
The drum sounds that I used, I pulled it from the trap uh, the trap drum
Okay.
pack, and then there was a couple other. Let me see. So these are the drum packs that I have right here.
Yeah.
African kit, something called All Dirty, something called All Grunts, one of the cymatics one, a lo-fi one, the quarantine drums that I put in there, and the
Yeah.
trap drums. I mean, if you don't have these out of the drum folder, Corey, you should make sure you get all of these because just the
Okay.
trap drums right there has a really good collection of kicks, for instance, that I've been needing some great kicks.
Yeah.
And,
What is my problem, man? I need to go in there. Like I haven't.
Yeah. Yeah,
really
I
gone
messed
there.
up. Actually, like I said, this might have been a blessing in disguise that my computer went down because it forced me to go in there because I needed some. I did not want to use factory drums,
Yeah.
and there's a gold mine in there.
And I gotta say, also, like even your synth sound, the detune, whatever that is, sync lead or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
That is like again really really crispy and
this one is weird. I didn't do anything to it. I didn't.
it has
Usually,
some LFO on there somewhere. It's like
yeah. I mean,
pitch shifting.
I messed with these a little bit, but I didn't. Usually, I add an effect or something to my sounds. Compressor. What I didn't get a chance to do, and it's something that I learned from one of the producer podcasts that I watched on Twitch.
Yeah.
Is using compressor and limiters.
Mhm.
I haven't been doing that enough, and I didn't get a chance to do it on this beat. But yeah, I think for whatever reason, these synths, these were factory synths that I pulled, and they all sounded pretty clean.
Yeah, if you go back to the synth you used there, it shows you have an LFO, and it looks like it's like adding some like vibrato or something at 40%, and that's the rate 5.5 hertz. So it's like if you hit a note, it's like going. Yeah, it's going. It's pretty fast. Yeah. That's nice though. But yo, you really did it with this one, and on a free version of Ableton. Come on.
Well, the free version is the full suite. They give you the full situation just to whet your appetite, so that after that 90 days, you're like, oh, I need the real version. Yeah, no, this is the full Ableton suite. So
this is nice, man.
Yeah,
I really like it.
Thank you.
All right, awesome.
All right, guys.
Passing the mic. Here we go. Look at him. First off, he's muted.
I'm really excited. I'm really excited about this week. Like, Pete, you showed up, man. You showed up.
Oh, thank you, sir.
I see how you tried to take credit away from yourself, even when you were like, I guess you guys thought I was programming it, not that good. Shut up. Shut up. Even subtle anti-flexes are forbidden, okay?
Subtle anti-flexes.
Anti-flex.
Okay. Mm-hmm. It's not what we do here. All right. You know what I'm saying? This beat was so good, I'm crying. You know what I'm saying? All right. So check it out. I'm going to go ahead and share. And I'm going to break down my track afterwards.
All right. I'm going to mute.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go. So for my track, I use a very classic scene from the movie Sister Act 2, where Lauryn Hill and Tanya Blunt are at the piano playing His Eyes on a Sparrow. And I made a track off of this, and I was super impressed with it. And then I was playing around today, and I heard a vocal chop that I wanted to use. And so I completely negated that beat. We'll play it on the B-sides episode we were talking about. But this one, it was just real fun to take it to this place because it was not gospel at all. It was just like one of those tracks you hear with a hot rapper on it, but there's really no gospel being played or whatever. So I'm going to just play it and I'm going to break it down later. So. Oh, I'm sorry. I have things muted. Let me go back, guys. I'm sorry. Let me start this over. Okay. I guess we're getting a lot of that tonight. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and throw everything in there. Here we go. So for this track, I took this lovely part of this song where they were just sitting there, and Tanya Blunt is like, his eye. I'm like, oh wow, wait a minute, hold on now. Like, let me go back, and I'm just like, his eye, what? And so I found that part. I'm actually gonna play the method in which I actually came across the sample. So because it was so amazing. So I'm like, wait, what is this? What is happening right now? And I found that piece. I'm like, what comes next? I'm like, nah, it can't be this simple. I'm like, yo, this is a track. So I'm like, but what's the change up? So I go back and I'm just playing. Oh, word. So that was what I did with the sample. That's literally it. So it's 5 keys that I hit on the sample because they fit so well. And they included, if you pay attention, they included the chords. So it gave me the blueprint for the track. So I just took the chords and through Spitfire Audio Labs strings and Spitfire Audio Labs guitar reversed pluck. And this is what I came up with from that. So played that out, and then so I took a Jay Dilla inspired drum loop that I found, and I wanted to just use the loop outright. And I'm like, yo, let me use this loop, but I couldn't. So I did. I threw the loop into Simpler and allowed me to chop up the loop, and so I just played the drum. So instead of me playing the beat that he made, I just used the drum sounds from Simpler and controlled it on my MIDI board. So I was able to snatch all of the individual drum sounds, which is what I do a lot with my drums. And so for this one, I just hit the hat, and the other one, I just put the whole drum layer down on. So and so for me, those drums are so thick, and I'm like, yo, I gotta really, really come with it for this, because that sample, it sounded like a Busta Rhymes Flex track from the 90s to me. And something where it's just like, this has to hit, it has to knock. And then in my head, I'm like, yo, Corey's gonna go crazy if I don't have no bass in here. But I also was playing around with the 808s and layering the 808 to match the key for the bass. So what I did was I actually recorded these simultaneously. So I'm gonna play them simultaneously or play them together or whatever. And let you hear kind of how this was put together. So for that, I just basically wanted to have my bass already have the sub in it. So I knew they weren't competing with each other. Instead of playing it later and trying to find somewhere it fit in, I just doubled them up and lowered the volume or the velocity to make sure they didn't compete with each other. And so once I found a sweet spot where they sounded great together, I just played them both in at the same time. And so that's really the track. So yeah. So I'm gonna open up to the guys, but that's how I made this track.
Yo,
Yo,
I love this. And actually, I want you to go into two things. I got a couple questions. So first off, that sample is cheating.
No way.
But that's great. That's a great ear. And that's like, I could imagine just coming across that sample and being like, this is it. This is it. But I really love this. And can you talk about, because this is an eye opener to me, which is just so obvious. And I feel so stupid for not even thinking about it. But where did you find the Dilla inspired drum loop?
So that is actually in the producer's playground that you never go into, where I load all the files for all the producers in my circle.
Oh my
And
God.
yeah, so it's like a bunch of sound packs, a bunch of loops, a bunch of kicks, a bunch of VSTs that will now work on your platform that you use.
Right.
And so I really anything that I was downloading or buying towards the beginning of my producing journey recently, I just threw all of them up in there if they didn't require a license. So the J Dilla joints, they're not on tempo. So I just grabbed them to use the sounds because the sounds are so thick.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's so smart is like, it's so obvious, but it's like, sometimes you hear a whole beat and you're like, I want all those drums. And that's just the easiest way to just chop it up quickly and use those drums, you know? And then the second thing is what you showed about the bass too, that is super duper smart. And that sounds really crispy too, is gathering the lows with the 808. And then you kind of have like the mid, like pretty much a mid in the bass with the moto bass.
Right.
So from like a mixing perspective, you have like really good frequency range and getting like the lows, the low lows, and then also like the mids, which is going to sound good even if you have like shitty small speakers or big speakers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I'm horrible with sub bass, with 808 bass. So I started to try to make it mirror my bass line for right now. Because I never really used it. I never really got with it, but I know that's a big thing that a lot of people want to hear in the cars and stuff or in the track. So for me, I just wanted to experiment with it in a way that it still felt comfortable to me, but also was creative. So I honestly got lost in this beat. So off topic, while I was making this beat, I ended up making another like 10-minute beat just playing the bass and the sub together on a whole nother melody. And then I forgot about the time. I'm like, oh shoot, let me go back to this one. So I made a whole separate beat with just playing around with that combination. So I don't know what this is called because it's just me, but I have both of these. So I'll show you what it is. So in Ableton, you're able to highlight multiple tracks and control them at one time.
Oh wow. Oh shit.
I didn't know that.
What?
How do you do that?
He just selected them both.
You just control. I showed you this a couple of weeks ago. And you hold control down and you select both of the channels or as many channels. You can do this with multiple channels. So I can do this with. It doesn't matter how many you have. They're all going to be controlled by the MIDI at the same time. So you can control 7 different drum sounds, 7 different drum kits, and make one dope track. So I've been doing that a lot lately. To instead of me duplicating the drums I'm using, I'll play whatever sound is on that key and let it go into the track. So it's a fun way to find new sounds, and it's also a fun way to find things you wouldn't have thought of before.
E just blessed us with 3 amazing things right there. That's awesome.
The last thing I will bless you with is I don't know if this does this in Logic Pro, but in Ableton, a lot of the sounds you have are not tuned to middle C or to C. And so what I had to do, I don't know if you see this right here, but this tuner here, you get your sub and you go get the sub you want to use, and then you throw a tuner on it. And so you play it until you find the key of C. Once you find C, make sure that you go whatever resonates as C, you change the transpose or the pitch to match C on your keyboard.
Yeah.
So now when you're playing with anything, it's automatically in sync with your notes.
And that's actually really funny because that's almost like just a producer joke is like 808s that are out of tune. You know what I mean? Because people are downloading 808 kits, and they're creating a melody or they're supporting a melody that's already made, thinking that they're hitting the C note, and in fact, it's imported in as like a D sharp or some shit.
Right, and I had a couple that are like C sharps or C flats, and it's like they sound so close, but they're so off that it throws off the track. I've heard that in a couple people's songs, and I'm just like, this is an easy way for me never to have that problem. You want to stay away from the ones that veer off at the end, like they kind of change the tone at the end.
Yeah.
Because those you can't really calibrate, but yeah, I mean it's pretty easy to do. And once I was able to grab the bass and the sub together, it was super cool to do. I enjoyed it a lot. I had a whole other theatrical part in here, but I couldn't finish it up the way I wanted to. And there was another piece of the sample that I had broke down for that theatrical part, but I kind of took it out just because I didn't want to spend time trying to fix it.
Yo, real quick before P, I'm sure he might have some things to say, but that is what 3BL is all about right there, ladies and gentlemen, is learning from other producers, because I just picked up at least 3 things that I'm going to incorporate in some stuff that I do pretty much forever, because that's pretty sick.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yo, E, very impressive, man. I love the fact that you took a movie sample. That's another thing that I guess I've learned a lot from you guys is sampling from like things that I wouldn't sample from. And meaning like not songs, but like music tutorials on YouTube and interludes from this and commercials and stuff. Like I like that you think outside the box when you went with the gospel challenge, because I definitely didn't think about that. So great call. And I also think that the direction you took it with was very interesting too. Like you said, before you even played the beat, you said this is more like a beat that someone would want to rap to or whatever, and it definitely felt, I definitely felt like spitting some bars to it. So very creative. Love the chop. Love the execution, and also love the I love how the melody kind of the chord progression, like as it changed after the 4 bar. I really like that, and how the guitar pluck and everything followed that same progression. So excellent. Great job, bro.
I'm going to stop sharing, and I'm going to pass it to Cheeky CP.
Score update. It's 27-17, and the Bills are driving in field goal range.
Yes, they are. I got it up too.
Fourth quarter, yes. 10 minutes left. Mm-hmm. I'm going on mute.
Me too.
What's up, everybody? What's up? This is Cheeky CP. This is episode 22, 3 beats later. The gospel music sampled challenge. And I had a fun time with this beat. I really don't know what it is, but I made it. So what we're going to do is we're going to play and then I'm going to break it down for you. So it's just kind of a groove right now. So I'm going to let it rock for a little while so we could all have some fun and listen to some music. Here we go. All right. So that was the beat. So this was, I didn't know, I had like 3 beats this week, and I just kind of stuck with the one that I was building the most around. And
3 beats later.
That's right. What P said, 3 beats later. So check it out. This is what I did. Okay, so a couple of things. I'm stuck on these horns, and I keep incorporating them, and I keep messing with a different articulation. And I got a little bit too caught up in the whole creative process with the horns. But I found this sample here, which I will play because it's pitched pretty down heavily. So I don't think anyone will really be able to catch what it is. But I was looking around for some gospel music. I was on YouTube, and I found Stevie Wonder kind of guest saying at a church in LA, I believe. And he really was kind of like singing slowly and like not really articulating a lot of stuff and kind of like almost speaking the song. And at the very end, there's about 15 seconds where he just breaks it down and just the whole band hears what he's saying. So for like 15 seconds, you get this little groove. And I built a song off of that groove. So I'm just going to break down what that is really quick. So I grab that as a loop, and I try to find like the perfect spot to just keep it rolling. The next thing that you hear is another choir that is a DC based choir, and I just grabbed kind of like one of their little oh yeahs here. So here it is right here. Bam, right there. So I use that as like the ending of the phrase to kind of bring us back around. And then I got funky with it. So everything else is just kind of building like a funk track around this. So of course I had to throw in some bass, and you'll notice that I named this track Bass Guitar, Not Moto, all right? Because I had to play this joint out, so. So nothing crazy going on there, but together with the guitar, you really hear like the porn music start. So, you know, standard funk stuff going on there, but what's really crazy about Logic is that you can add effects to anything that you're recording live, and you can actually use the pedal board. So if you ever have any experience with GarageBand, pretty much Logic is like the grandfather of GarageBand. It's like the older, more professional version of GarageBand, right? So you get all the pedals just like GarageBand has, and they have an auto wah in there, which is just nasty. I play guitar forever, and I've probably spent at least $300 on auto wah, just different pedals. And this sounds as good as or better than most of my auto wah pedals. And you could just hear how funky that is. So the difference, I'll just show you. There it is without it. This is just the guitar. There's the auto wah. So it's basically an envelope filter, and it's opening and closing at a specific time, and you can really get that nice mellow, just wah situation going on. The next thing to go through is we had a stream last Monday, and we were talking about how to take vocals and turn it into MIDI, and that's how I wrote out these trumpet parts. So I just took the microphone and I recorded myself humming into it. That's not it. This is it right here. So here's me humming. So I took that and then did the trick that we talked about last Monday and basically just turned that into MIDI. And once it's MIDI, you really got to go in and like find out where the notes should really be. And then basically with that in mind, it gives us the little trumpet line that you hear on the chorus of the song. So when Stevie comes in. So I just try to demonstrate and keep pushing myself to kind of like use the stuff that we're talking about each week. And that was one of the things we talked about last week. And that's what I did with this beat was, hey, I know I hear it in my head, so let me hum it and then take the MIDI and then basically make it stronger, right? So that's the MIDI technique there. And then just to kind of build on this song a little bit, what you hear is organ, just kind of like a held note, like a big pad that's happening. And then I added some of this weird effect here. And then that just added more syncopation with the beat. Another thing that I've been using is drummer, just to add in different percussion. And the percussion that I added this week was this tambourine, just to give it some feel. Again, I'm not doing anything crazy with the beat. The beat is just the drums. I mean, the drums are just really like super bare bones, just so I could kind of, you know, if I need to later, just add it and make it way more funky. But really the only thing that's going on is just this. So yeah, I'm gonna open it up. Opening it up.
Yo.
Quick question. Dope.
Yes.
Very dope. Very dope.
Thank you.
Yo, why do we both keep doing that? Quick question. Yo, this is dope.
When you took the MIDI data from your vocal sample, you said that you had to find like the notes a little bit or whatever.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that? Like, because I know that when you do it in Ableton, there's a harmony option and a melody option.
Okay.
And I don't know how it works in Logic, so I'm interested to hear.
Yeah. So what you get left with, and I'll open it up in the piano roll here really quick, is this is actually not that line, but this is the line right here. So what you get left with is MIDI data that may not be in time the way that you heard it or the way that you sung it. Mm-hmm. So all I'm saying is that
there's a lag, you mean?
Well, there might be. You aren't singing perfectly, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
you just think you are.
Yeah, you just think you are. And basically you can hear where it's off of beat, right? So I basically had to take that data and figure out
it.
Quantize, but also you kind of have to think like, for horn players, they aren't always on the grid. They kind of like play sloppily, and that's what you hear at the very end. So just having that in mind, I knew that most of this was going to be quantized. In fact, if you look at all the beginning parts, most of this looks, okay, this is not quantized. So off the grid, this is a triplet, so that should look off. This is off completely. That's on.
I forgot to post this on Twitch. Oops.
That's all good. Off the grid. So like some of it is on and off, but basically some notes were wrong. So like, because I'm not singing in perfect pitch, right? I'm not like perfectly giving you what it should be. So it's going to give you the right, it's going to think you hit this note. You just have to go back in and say, pull it down, pull it up, pull it down, pull it up, pull it over, pull it left, pull it right. So you're just kind of taking the sketch and then, and then you're making it you're going over with ink, right? This is the MIDI data is going to be the sketch. You're the inker. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's what that was. Other questions?
Yes, I got questions. My question is this: how in the heck can you solo out that Stevie part again?
Oh yeah, man. Here we go. Here's Stevie.
Oh, okay.
I got something funny to show you too, but keep going.
Wait, so I feel like you two were somehow in sync with your beats. Like that sounds like it would blend perfectly as a lead into or the beginning of P's beat. Like what you did is like a mashup of the same track, but it's completely different. It's so interesting that you both were in like the same key, same area, and both did like this island type vibe with your tracks. Very cool. I like it.
here's something funny to listen to really quick. I have to show you this because last Monday we were talking about the pitch shifter too. I didn't have enough time, but I was gonna add this, which just sounds funny. But here we go.
I said thank you, Lord. I said thank you, Lord. I said thank you, Lord.
Which is way off key everywhere.
Yo, wait, play that again.
Here, you ready? Here's with the pitch shift on. You ready?
I said thank you, Lord. I said thank you, Lord.
So I was gonna add that in the background and just see if you guys caught it.
Wait,
But
you ever go to church? You ever go to church and you're singing with the choir and you don't realize you're about to stop and you hear yourself without the choir? That's what it sounds like.
Oh man. Hilarious. All right. Okay, cool. That's it. I'm gonna stop sharing then.
Yo, I like this a lot. It's a lot of energy.
Yeah, man. All right. So we got a unique week. I was already mentioning it. Next week is going to be, we are not streaming, but we are going to stream an interview that I'm going to do with a producer. So we have a series of interviews called Very Dope Producers, and the first producer on the series is The Kit Complete. So it's pretty cool. It's about a little bit under an hour interview, and really, really good insights and stuff to take away. So, we're all about sharing and learning and stuff like that. So if you don't know about The Kid Complete, look him up. He just released a beat tape that we talked a lot about. And I think we talk about the same subjects on this stream. And he dives into, sample selection. And it's really fun. So that's what we're doing. And then after that, we're going to have a Christmas music sampled episode, which will be in 2 Mondays from now. So we're not even doing a wheel spin today. We know what the challenge is going to be. It's going to be Christmas music. We got to incorporate into a beat. So do whatever you want. So you have 2 weeks to do that, basically. So you got extra time. So next, from 2 Mondays from now, when P is finishing his beat 1 hour before the episode, just know that he had 2 weeks.
Well, hold up. In P's defense, I really feel like I've been the king of that lately. Like, I think P has had most of his beat done. He's just adding stuff to it. I think that I'm the bad guy now. Like, I'm actually I'm texting you guys like, yo, I scrapped the other beat and it's 850. Like, yo, I just started a new beat. Like, so I think that that's going to be fun. The sad part is I think that I've already been contemplating my Christmas sample. Because I am a huge Christmas music fan, and there is a very unique Christmas song that I like that a lot of people know, but they don't really pay attention to. So I think that it's going to be something that we can really have fun.
Okay.
But yeah, I will say this. To everyone who watches this show regularly, first of all, thank you very much. And we're giving you a rare opportunity to be represented on the show. At the beginning of next year, they don't know this. That's why they look surprised. Like, what is he about to say? All the challenges on the side of Corey are going to be wiped clean. We're going to start fresh. That's an executive decision that I'm making. So we're going to wipe all those challenges clean, and we're going to have brand new challenges. We would love to have you guys send us some challenges that you think we should do, and we would include them. You just got to send them to us before the new year. You can comment, you can tag us, whatever you want to do. Get it to us on Instagram, email us, however you want to do it. But just get the idea to us, and we would include it in the challenge. And we will actually do your challenges first. So if you send them to us before the end of the year, they will make it onto our wheel, and then you will be an honorary guest on our show by default.
There we go. Look at that.
Nice.
Surprise.
Executives are making decisions.
Surprise,
executives
guys.
make decisions.
So yeah, I'll take the beat down after this, but I did it for you guys.
All right. So anything else before we wrap it up? Anything else that we got to go through?
Update. It's 3417.
Yes. Love to see it.
So back to more important things. I just want to say, I'm very happy that you guys really showed up this week on the beats. Everybody did something out of their comfort zone, or at least unique. And I feel like we really, this challenge is what, like Corey said, this is what 3 Beats Later is about. You know what I'm saying? Bringing out the best in each other and challenging ourselves to do those unique things. By the end of this year, if we can't produce a beat that sounds like any style given to us, we haven't been paying attention.
Yes.
And I think that is something that we pick up by these weird challenges. You both you guys gave me so much flack about the Tiny Tim challenge, and now Corey is selling that beat as his first beat on his BeatStar page. P loved his challenge. So just always, and this is to everybody out there listening too, and it's not about music. Challenge yourself to do the thing that you fear the most, and I promise you'll be super, super excited about the results and feel way better on the other side. So conquer your fears by facing them head on. If you're afraid of doing something or you're nervous about doing something, as long as it's legal, I say do it. Do it. Be safe. Be careful. Don't be scared though. Do it cautious. Like be aware of your surroundings, but make sure you do that thing that makes you fear the most, because that's the thing that's going to change your life the most.
Big words. I love that. Thank you. Needed that this week. All right. Cool. Can we call it? I think we're gonna log off.
Done.
Next Monday, again, interview. Following Monday, we got Christmas music to share. All right, everybody.
Peace.